I become really depressed, paranoid. You're not yourself.
I lost an awful lot of weight. I was under 7 stone.
I remember the day she walked in the bedroom and see me with a needle and knocked me out.
In the end, it gets a grip.
I've been addicted to heroin for the past 30 years and I was naive towards what heroin was. I got introduced to a drug called skag and I didn't really know what it was.
About 13, 14, just started off like smoking cannabis with friends in school mainly.
Got into drugs when I was really old. I was 30 and it was through my ex-partner. He was using at the time, so I was curious.
I got into drugs when I was about 15 years of age. My friends were all smoking pot, and then because I wouldn't smoke pot, they sort of stopped knocking for me. And then so I felt like they were going to abandon me sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? So that's how I started getting into it, for peer pressure.
Went from like every couple of days to like all day, every day basically.
I used to hide it well from my mother and I remember the day, you know, she walked in the bedroom and see me with a needle and knocked me out. And it just broke and she just burst out crying.
There are about 300,000 crack and heroin users in the UK.
It starts off once in a while, only having a line over weekends, and before you know it, you're having, you're needing a bag every day just to get you through, just to get you up.
I was on heroin for 20 years. In the meantime, picked up cocaine, injected that, and ended up with hepatitis.
People tend to associate with other people who are doing the same thing. So if you're smoking a lot of cannabis, you're likely to hang out with other people who smoke a lot of cannabis. Or if you're drinking too much alcohol, you're likely to hang out with other people who drink a lot of alcohol as well.
Smoking cannabis doubles your chances of getting schizophrenia.
I'd gone through like loads of trouble in school with it because my attitude changed. Got kicked out the house when I was 16. And then it just got to a point where it was like, if I want to keep funding my habit, then I'm going to have to basically sell it to make my own sort of thing. That's how I ended up getting involved in that side of things.
Just two young kids who were out for a laugh, like a work night out and about with the staff. I'm just sat reminiscing on old flames, but I ain't mentioning no names. Yeah, I'm still burning.
Everything changed for me, like when I was 17, my house got raided and all of the money that I'd made off it was in a shoebox and the busies took it, do you know what I mean? So you lose out there and then, you can lose your freedom, you can end up going to prison for it, get fines, community service or stuff like that. It's not really worth it in the long run. So it might seem like easy money at the time, but it's only easy money until you get nicked.
I've been arrested from John O'Groats to Land's End. I think I've been sentenced to something like 19 years imprisonment. It was no life. The best years of my life were gone. And the sentences that you get in the courts, they don't get any smaller. They just get bigger and bigger and bigger.
Alcohol is loaded with calories, so it will make you fat.
I started going out grafting, committing fraud, and got in with the wrong crowd. They were hitting up coke and they said, "Oh, do you want to try?" I said, "Yeah, all right."
You might think that I'm only smoking pot, but they're all the same, every one of them, and drink is included in that.
A lot more people are using alcohol, and powder cocaine use often goes along with alcohol use, and that causes a lot of problems. Increase in problems caused by smoking the very strong strains of cannabis like skunk.
18 to 24-year-olds are the heaviest drinkers in the UK.
I was getting very paranoid off the drugs, thinking that people were coming through the room and badly paranoid, so I knew it was a problem. I've got to do something about it.
The skunk today, I call it the smack of today, because it's just causing just as much problem as heroin did.
What people are smoking now, the strong skunks, it's all THC and it's a psychotic, do you know what I mean? That's what it does. And so, like, what I found, I become really depressed, paranoid. Just, you're not yourself. It might seem positive at the time, and they're enjoying it, and they've got the giggles, and they're having a laugh and all of that, but in the long term, if you're smoking it that regularly, it's not going to be good. You know, you're going to get depressed, you're going to get paranoid, you can get to the point where you have a full-on psychotic episode.
You've got a financial cost which is huge, but I think there's also the huge human cost that misuse of drugs and alcohol causes just simply so much kind of human misery.
There are about 2,000 drug-related deaths every year in the UK.
You don't just ruin your own life, you ruin your whole family's life. You know, I didn't see my daughter grow up, and I have my daughter back in my life today only because I'm getting myself clean and away from drugs.
Because a lot of the time you feel bullied into it, or you know, you feel vulnerable and you're sort of pressurised into it. It takes the stronger person, the bigger person, to walk away and be yourself.
If I hadn't stopped taking drugs, I'd have been dead now.
Well, if there's young people who think that they've got a problem with any form of drugs or stuff like that, I think talking to your parents is a good thing to do, or talk to Frank. Go to a place like Addiction, which is a young person service in Liverpool for people addicted to drugs, and it's completely confidential and that no one will know about it. And they help me use ways to like cut down on the weed and stop smoking it, and I started doing music and used that as an escape. It seems daunting and stuff like that, but it's not that scary, and you'll feel a million times better when you get out of there.
You're right.
Now I do a lot of youth work, I do music workshops, and I've done a lot of outreach with young people. Music's my life now, do you know what I mean? That's my drug now. I released my first album in 2008, I'm working on my second one now. Luckily I've managed to like pretty much travel the whole of the country, performing for crowds of people who want to hear a Scouse rapper.
I've got to work at it now. I've got to work at it and be there for them, rather than being selfish and just throwing my life away.
Information is power for young people, and it's about giving them the right education so they can go out there and keep themselves safe.
I don't find it hard at all these days to stay off drugs. I'm not even tempted, like, you know, my mates still all do it and I'm still around it all the time. I think in big cities like Liverpool, everyone is, and, you know, I suppose some people can feel pressured, but once you've been there and done that, it does not interest me in the slightest that it's there, and, you know, I'm not interested.
So aren't you ever tempted when your friends ask you in?
They don't anymore, they know not to, because they know they're just going to get a simple no, so they don't bother. All right.